Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Roman Reigns has now broken a major promise he made. This may have huge consequences for the star. When Reigns was absent on screen after losing to Cody Rhodes, Paul Heyman revealed to Solo Sikoa that the tribal chief had made him a promise. He said that he had requested Reigns that he would never lay hands on CM Punk. He also said this was a request that the tribal chief had always honored after making the promise to the Wiseman. While this did not work with Solo Sikoa, it appeared that Reigns would keep the promise, especially after CM Punk filled in and helped Reigns during the Bloodline War Games. However, Punk was responsible for eliminating him at the Royal Rumble. Reigns returned during his Madison Square Garden steel cage match against Rollins and broke his promise to Paul Heyman. He attacked Punk and destroyed him when the latter was being comforted by Heyman. Now, Punk has said that Heyman handed Roman Reigns to him on a silver platter. While it's not confirmed yet, Reigns breaking his promise of attacking Punk might be the final straw for Heyman, and he may turn his back on the tribal chief. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk are set for a big contract signing on WWE SmackDown. Roman Reigns is currently set to sign a contract to seal his fate for the WrestleMania 41 event. He is expected to face Seth Rollins and CM Punk in a match that will see the star clash with two of his biggest rivals. Although it's the first WrestleMania that Reigns has been in, and he hasn't defended a WWE title in a while, the match is still set to be a major one for him. The tension in the WWE universe had reached a boiling point. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, had built his empire on dominance, loyalty, and, above all, trust. But in one shocking moment, all of that came crashing down. The night everything changed. WWE SmackDown was electric. The main event was set. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, the latest powerhouse added to the Bloodline, were scheduled to take on Cody Rhodes and LA Knight in a massive tag team match. But as the match neared its climax, something unexpected happened. Solo, exhausted from the battle, reached out for a tag. Jacob was ready, but instead of slapping Solo's hand, he hesitated. The hesitation turned into a glare, and in that moment, he stepped back, hopped off the apron, and walked away. The crowd gasped. Paul Heyman, standing ringside, had his hands on his head in shock. Solo, bewildered, turned around, only to eat a crossroads from Cody Rhodes, followed by a BFT from LA Knight. 1, 2, 3. The Bloodline had lost. But the real story wasn't the match, it was the betrayal. Jacob Fatu's bombshell. As soon as the bell rang, Michael Cole and Corey Graves were buzzing. "What just happened?" Cole asked, his voice filled with disbelief. Graves shook his head. "That wasn't just a loss, that was a statement. Jacob Fatu just walked out on the Bloodline." And by the look on Paul Heyman's face, even he didn't see this coming. Backstage, the cameras caught up with Jacob. Kayla Braxton, looking for an explanation, shoved a microphone toward him. "Jacob, why did you walk out on Solo Sikoa? What does this mean for the Bloodline?" Jacob smirked. "Roman Reigns lied." The crowd in the arena erupted. "He promised that if I joined the Bloodline, we would be stronger than ever. That we would run SmackDown, run WWE. But guess what? That promise was just words. Where is Roman now? Hiding at home while we do his dirty work? Nah. I don't follow liars." The interview cut off abruptly as Heyman stormed onto the scene, looking visibly shaken. "Jacob, my boy, this is a misunderstanding. The tribal chief." Jacob didn't let him finish. "Tribal chief? Tell him to say that to my face." And with that, he walked away, leaving Heyman speechless. The tribal chief's response. The following week on SmackDown, the entire world waited for Roman Reigns. The question was on everyone's mind, had the head of the table truly abandoned his bloodline? Had he broken the very foundation of his family's legacy? The show opened with Paul Heyman in the ring, his face pale. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice shaking, "my name is Paul Heyman, and I am here tonight with a very heavy heart. I have been a loyal advocate for the greatest champion in WWE history, Roman Reigns. And last week, there was a misunderstanding." Before he could continue, the Titantron flickered to life. There he was. Roman Reigns, sitting in his grand estate, championship still draped over his shoulder. His face was expressionless, but his eyes held something different, something that didn't sit right. "Jacob Fatu," Roman started, his voice calm but cold. "You think I broke a promise? You think I lied?" The crowd watched in anticipation. "I told you that we would dominate. That we would run this company. And we have. But you had no patience. You didn't trust the process. And now, you walk away like a coward?" He shook his head. "Here's the truth, Jacob. I was testing you. I wanted to see if you were truly loyal. And you failed." A long pause. "So, from this moment forward, you are no longer bloodline. You are no longer family." The audience gasped. "And trust me, when you walk alone in this business, you don't survive long." The video ended. The arena was silent. Jacob Fata versus the Bloodline? Later that night, Jacob Fata stormed into the arena. He wasn't alone. Tama Tonga and Tangaloa, two men with their own history with the Bloodline, stood by his side. "This isn't about trust," Jacob growled into the mic. "It's about respect. You can't sit at home, Roman, and call yourself a leader. You promised that this was a family, not a dictatorship. You broke that promise. So guess what? We don't need you anymore." The challenge was laid out. Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso versus Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa. The Bloodline versus the Bloodline's Rebels. The fallout. As weeks went on, the tension only escalated. Roman Reigns finally returned in person, but things had changed. Solo Sikoa, once his most loyal enforcer, seemed conflicted. Jimmy Uso, still unsure of his role, found himself questioning everything. At Survivor Series, the match was set. The Bloodline versus the Rebels in a War Games match. When the night came, it wasn't just a match, it was a war. Every chair shot, every spear, every superkick held years of betrayal and resentment behind it. The shocking moment came when Solo Sikoa, torn between loyalty and justice, had to make a decision. Roman barked at him to attack Jacob. Jacob, bruised and beaten, simply extended his arms. "Come on, Uso. Do it." Solo hesitated. He clenched his fists. And then, he turned. He super-kicked Roman Reigns. The crowd exploded. Jacob Fata hit a Samoan drop, followed by a huge splash from the top rope. 1, 2, 3. The tribal chief had been pinned. The aftermath. SmackDown after Survivor Series was the most chaotic in history. Roman Reigns was nowhere to be seen. Paul Heyman looked lost, uncertain of what to do. Meanwhile, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa stood in the ring, victorious. "We said we didn't need you, Roman," Jacob said, looking straight into the camera. "And now, the WWE Universe knows it too." The era of Roman Reigns had taken a massive hit. The promise he had made, to rule with his family, to be unstoppable, had been shattered. And now, the Bloodline was no longer his kingdom. It was his downfall. Roman Reigns sends two-word message before WWE SmackDown. Roman Reigns is heading to WWE SmackDown this week ahead of a huge contract signing for WrestleMania 41. The Tribal Chief is about to finalize what will be the biggest match of the year for him so far, as he wrestles two of his major rivals, but before that, he's sent a two-word message. Reigns took to X/Twitter and made it clear that he was going to be physically present on the blue brand, which means that he will be in the same ring as Seth Rollins and CM Punk once again. Given the chaos that unfolded last week when the three megastars were in the squared circle together, fans have a lot to look forward to. Meanwhile, General Manager Nick Aldis and the security personnel on SmackDown will have their hands full. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk have already expressed their clear intentions about not holding back at all and trying to injure each other, even if it means that the match at WrestleMania 41 gets affected. Nick Aldis will likely encourage them to keep their hands off one another till they meet in the blockbuster triple threat match. However, what happens on the blue brand tonight may determine how things play out on the road to WrestleMania 41. Roman Reigns faces a big question surrounding the loyalty of his chief advisor. Not only is Roman Reigns compelled to face Seth Rollins and CM Punk, two men he shares history with, but he will also be forced to confront the reality that his wiseman, Paul Heyman, may not be in his corner 100%. Heyman has a history with CM Punk, who is known for being a Paul Heyman guy. He also owes the latter a favor for the War Games match at Survivor Series 2024, where Punk turned up as the fifth member of Reigns' team to help the OG Bloodline defeat Solo Sikoa's team. Heading into WrestleMania, Heyman's loyalties have also been questioned, which puts Reigns in an unfamiliar spot, where he may not be able to count on anyone, not even his wiseman. The anticipation for WWE SmackDown is at an all-time high, and Roman Reigns, the former undisputed WWE Universal Champion, has added fuel to the fire with a cryptic two-word message. As the wrestling world waits to see if the Tribal Chief will make his presence felt on SmackDown, his latest move has sparked speculation and theories from fans and insiders alike. Reigns' message shakes the WWE Universe. Just hours before WWE SmackDown, Roman Reigns took to social media and posted a simple yet powerful message. "Acknowledge me." While this has been his signature catchphrase for years, the timing of the message suggests something much deeper. Reigns hasn't been a weekly presence on SmackDown since losing the undisputed WWE Universal Championship to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. His absence has led to chaos within the Bloodline, as Solo Sikoa has taken over and restructured the group with new members, including Jacob Fatu. But does Reigns' message signal an imminent return? The Bloodline's turmoil in his absence. Since WrestleMania, the Bloodline has undergone a drastic transformation. Solo Sikoa, once a loyal enforcer, has stepped up as the de facto leader. He exiled Paul Heyman and replaced him with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, further solidifying his new regime. However, cracks have begun to show. The recent loss of Jacob Fatu on SmackDown marked the first sign that Solo's version of the Bloodline isn't as dominant as Reigns' reign. With Jim Uso missing in action and Jey Uso thriving on Raw, many fans have wondered when Roman Reigns would step in to reclaim his position as the Tribal Chief. His two-word message might be the first step in doing just that. What does "acknowledge me" mean this time? Reigns' choice of words is nothing new, but in this context, it holds significant weight. Could he be preparing to return and take back his throne? Or is this a warning to Solo Sikoa, reminding him that the Bloodline only exists because of him? Several scenarios could unfold following this message. Roman Reigns confronts Solo Sikoa. Reigns could return on SmackDown and directly challenge Solo's leadership. This could lead to a major split within the Bloodline, forcing members to choose sides. A surprise attack on SmackDown. If Reigns isn't scheduled to appear in person, he might send a message through force. A returning Jimmy Uso or even an unexpected ally could attack the Bloodline, sending a statement on his behalf. Paul Heyman's role in the chaos. With Heyman exiled from the Bloodline, he could be the key to Reigns' return. If Reigns is planning a comeback, Heyman might be working behind the scenes to ensure his Tribal Chief gets the revenge he seeks. As expected, WWE superstars and fans have been buzzing about Reigns' cryptic message. Cody Rhodes, the man who dethroned Reigns at WrestleMania, reacted with a simple "I'll be waiting," hinting that their rivalry isn't over. Meanwhile, Solo Sikoa responded on Instagram with a single emoji, the blood drop, symbolizing that he's ready for whatever comes next. Even The Rock, who had once positioned himself as the true Tribal Chief before WrestleMania, liked Reigns' post, fueling speculation about his involvement. Could the Bloodline's story take an even more dramatic turn with The Rock in the mix? If Roman Reigns does return to WWE SmackDown, it will mark the beginning of a major power struggle. His dominance over WWE lasted over 1,300 days, and he won't let his legacy fade without a fight. Whether he's coming for Solo, the Bloodline, or even Cody Rhodes, his message makes one thing clear. Roman Reigns isn't done. As SmackDown approaches, the question remains, will the WWE Universe acknowledge him once again?